So anyone who would be looking for the new AI agent narrative and will be looking at Aimonica Brands Coin will be looking at this chart and will be scratching their head and wondering, how the heck, what exactly do we do with this chart over here? Like, how do we buy now? Do we wait? What's going on? Now, normally I don't do many videos about such a new coins like Aimonica. However, guys, we have a major new narrative, as I'm sure many of you have already seen, in the AI agents narrative. And this is the time. I think it's a fantastic opportunity how we can recognize a good coin, and then how can we spot a good entry point for such a coin, right? So I've done a video so far about some other coins, like for example we spotted a really big accumulation that Dasha Waifu had, and when I made the video about Dasha Waifu, you know, it was like maybe like it was 800 or 900 ranking, right? So it definitely increased quite a lot since I made the video, and it even made a much higher high, like we anticipated in the video. Now, like we mentioned, normally, look, when we refresh this over here, AI agents on CoinGecko, right, the category, you know, you're gonna look over here, and you know, there's just so much stuff that is pumping so heavily. You have some stuff that is already like in the top 100, such as AI16Z, and recently also Fart. You already have, like, you know, approximately 4 coins that in the top 100. Right, right. These are the large ones. These are the ones that are 1 billion market cap or more. And then, you know, when you look at it 24-hour, like what gained the most in the last 24 hours or in the last 7 days, and then you start to see stuff that, well, either it pumped like crazy and it is still pumping, so maybe you'll be somewhat lucky and you'll, you know, enter it while it's pumping, but you know, maybe it's gonna continue to pump above. But normally, in my experience, it's a very bad strategy, and normally when you buy something that has just pumped, you know, more than a 10x in 7 days, in most cases it will correct quite significantly. So anyway, you will be looking and, you know, finding all of these coins, and some of them are tremendously smaller, so obviously it's a lot easier for them to do like a 3x in a day. But you know, normally for the majority of people out there, especially if you have been here for enough time, you would know that if you just go here and try to find random stuff that has pumped like crazy, and if you're gonna buy, let's say, all of the coins that we see over here, none of, you know, this is not financial advice, this is just based on my experience, but you know, most likely you're gonna lose money, okay, if this is the strategy you're gonna do. So what is my strategy? My strategy, well, to be honest, normally my strategy actually consists of like the larger portion of my portfolio is still in the biggest coin, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana, where I have very high conviction that they're gonna be successful, and you know, I am gonna have gains. But you know, for the smaller ones, right, for the ones that, you know, can do this like 100x, 10x, but the chances are not that high. So I have to find multiple coins that are good. Normally, at least at these stages of the bull run, for me personally, I like to look at stuff that is, let's say, you know, as I'm recording the video, that is approximately like, you know, 300, a coin number 300, or maybe 200 or less. And you know, something like in the 9-figure to 8-figure. And what I like the most is the 8-figure market caps, right? So in the 8-figure, we have Dasha, which, you know, it just like get into the 9-figure. And then we also have Aimonica, something also pretty new, with 60 million market cap, still not that big. The problem is that a few days ago, I just didn't want to record the video as it was pumping. In the last few days, it was just, again, pumping like crazy. It pumped, you know, from 1 cent to, you know, another 4x to like 7, 8, 9 cents. Now, it's finally starting a correction, and if you've seen my video, definitely if you haven't seen, it's a fantastic time for you to subscribe and to check the video that I made about Dasha Waifu, and I showed how, you know, okay, it's pumping like crazy, I'm waiting, I'm gonna wait and find the fantastic opportunity how to buy it, and this one I bought, you know, at 5 to 4 cents, really close to the bottom. So let's now do a slightly different video. So Dasha Waifu was already kind of after the bottom when I did this last video. Aimonica, in my opinion, is still the bottom, in my opinion, is likely still ahead. I think it's still not the bottom yet for Aimonica. Of course, it could be wrong, anything's possible in the market, but most likely I think it's still the beginning. Again, I don't think it's gonna correct like crazy, I don't think it's gonna, collapse below 1 cent or something. Definitely not in the bull run. In the bear market, of course it will. But right now we're focused still in the massive crypto bull run and in a really big altcoin season that I think is really lurking really close to us and could start anytime here now in 2025. So this is a big opportunity in my opinion, Aimonica. And like I said, let's go to TradingView, right? Because in TradingView normally we can see kind of much better the levels, right? That these tokens can find themselves at. So let's actually try and do like something like the 4-hour. Let's do something like the 4-hour moving average here. I think it's gonna be pretty decent because we can see that it started over here. It was in a major bull run, and then it started testing it as support. It had some fake out beneath, and then once it flipped, being bullish above this 4-hour 50 moving average. Then it started this massive next surge that it had over here, like I said, for another 3 to 4x. So at the moment, right, so I'm running a fib retracement over here from the highs, not the very wick highs, but the highs here like on the 4-hour chart, which would correspond to this, like to 8 cents. And I also want to take it to the very lows of the 4-hour chart too, which would be here like 3 zeros and 1, right, when approximately when this coin only launched. So let's have a look, right? So what's going on with the fib retracement, and then we're gonna try and correlate it with the 4-hour chart. Now, if you've seen my other videos, right, normally I like coins that exist for a lot longer. The thing is, right now we have a strong narrative in AI agents, and many of them are not gonna exist for a long time. So obviously, if I want to make videos about a new narrative that still, in my opinion, has a lot more opportunity ahead for it. Most of the coins are not gonna exist for a long time. But like I said, normally for me, like it's a lot easier still to invest in the bear market or the early phases of the bull market when you have a lot of history for all the coins. And like it's still the bear market, so even the big stuff like Solana still have at least a 10x ahead of it. So in the case of what we have over here, for a token that exists only for like just above a month, I have to use some moving averages. In my experience, this is a pretty decent moving average for these kind of newer coins that pump like crazy. This 4-hour 50 moving average, and the Fibonacci is always, again, I'm always amazed how the Fibonacci is always finding support and resistance, and it's always critical. So let's have a look, right? So far, we had this pump to 8-9 cents, and so far we're holding really nice support here at the 0.236 fib retracement level, right, which would correspond, to make things simple, it would correspond to approximately 6 cents, right? So as I'm recording the video, this is where the price is at. Now, it had already wicked, once it had like really severe kind of sell pressure here on Friday, it actually wicked already to the orange area in the fib retracement tool, which would be the 5 cents region. Now, in my experience, and also with this coin, I'm gonna already show you, right? So it had another fantastic pump over here in early December, and then it corrected like 60 to 50%. So many of these coins that are going absolutely crazy in a bull run, they still, like, even though they're still in this like big uptrend that they still have, like when you zoom out, they still have these like 50 to 60% corrections in between. Now, once we kind of go to a longer bearish period, such as what we had like in the middle of 2024, then many of those will have like 80 to 90% corrections. But in the current circumstances we are expecting to have something between 50 to 60% correction, just like we had over here. Now, this pump over here was kind of much more significant. It was a 10x, right? And this pump over here was, let's see again, it would be something like, 5x. So you know, 60% correction may be a little bit too much. So personally, I'm not gonna wait for 50 to 60% correction, but this is kind of what I'm looking at, right? So because we already wicked over here to 5 cents, and because, you know, we're kind of, you can see we're kind of dancing with this like 6 cents, and we're basically creating here like, you know, descending, you know, like the pattern that we see here is called the descending triangle. So we have, you know, this support over here, and then the highs are becoming lower, right? So we had this high, then another high, then we tested even the 5 to 6 cents, then again another kind of much more smaller high over here, and then again we're back to the same level. So normally these patterns resolve to the downside. Again, like I mentioned, this is not financial advice. I'm just showing you what I'm planning to do with this coin over here, Aimonica. Sometimes the patterns and sometimes the technical analysis is wrong. What we're dealing here is probabilities, right? So the way I see it, the higher probability is that first it's still gonna go further down from the price as I'm recording the video, because we have here this descending triangle, because normally it corrects more as it has like this massive moves. And, you know, we're gonna watch also for this for our 50 moving average. So first of all, in my opinion, because we already wicked over here, I think the 5 cents region is another very, very decent area to revisit. But then I think the next area, which for me personally looks like the best buying opportunity for my personal taste, that would be this green, okay, green area over here, the 0.5 on the Fibonacci retracement tool, and that will correspond to 4 cents. Now, why? Because 4 cents, right, so from 8 cents approximately, 4 cents would put us around 50%, right, correction. Like I said, 60%, I'm not sure we're gonna get 60% correction. So it is possible, right? We're gonna get to this kind of next level over here. It is definitely also possible, but I just think it's more likely that Aimonica will stop here at 4 or even 5. And again, especially if now Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana are gonna be back to mooning even more, or, you know, mooning in their terms, right? Like doing like a 50% gain or something. I don't think, like, you know, the other altcoins are going to correct this much. So this is why this next level, it's very possible and still going to be pretty good, because it's going to retest this actually prior all-time high that it had. So I mean, even if it does that and you know, consolidates kind of here before it pumps, it's definitely still very powerful in my opinion. I think it's still going to be a very nice, definitely a great buying opportunity, and I think it's still Aimonica is going to go a lot higher. But again, just given the current market circumstances as I'm recording the video, I just think this level is a little bit less likely. So the most likely level I see is this 4 cents, and 5 cents I also think is pretty likely. So why I think 4 cents is likely is because this moving average is getting somewhat closer, right, to 4 cents. And if we're gonna have something similar to what we had over here, you know, it can catch up even more and more over here, then go to like 5 or 4.5 cents. And then the correction can again go a little bit below, right? It can go like below actually this moving average. And then you can also see here, like again on the 4-hour chart, you can see here that before that it kind of stumbled over here. So, you know, it's definitely can still be a very decent area to watch for Aimonica. So in my personal strategy, I'm gonna wait for you know, maybe even 5 cents. I can start, you know, DCAing a little bit at 5 cents. And I also can go much heavier at 4 cents, and then I can leave, you know, smaller amount in case we still go to 3 cents. If we do, then, you know, allocate even more last amount. Something, you know, let's say something like 25% over here. Again, this is what I'm gonna do approximately, more or less. 50% at the green level, which is 4 cents, and then another 25% at 3 cents. If we never hit that, then that's okay. I can use that to, you know, buy something else. And again, and if all of my analysis is incorrect and I'm not gonna buy anything here with Aimonica, that's totally fine, because we have a crazy bull run and we still have so much more opportunities. I'm just gonna find something else, so that's totally fine. Now, last thing, guys. So we discussed like the most important kind of short term, how I want to snipe, like, you know, good prices. So this is really what I'm doing when I see charts like that. So to answer the question from the beginning of the video, this is what I would do. Then obviously we need to think, like, you know, what is really the potential, right, that this thing has. And, you know, because it's a new narrative, because nobody knows like what's gonna happen with these AI agents, and, you know, we already have, like, you know, I see people are crazy bullish on everything, and they think that, you know, like Fartcoin and AI16Z and all of that is just gonna moan like absolute crazy. Maybe, right? But look, at the end of the day, this stuff has already pumped quite insanely, right? So of course I don't know when the correction is gonna start, but you know, it's already like a 2 billion market cap. So you know, to give you some, like, you know what I mean, I love being bullish and I love finding these 5 to 10x gems, but I also love to be realistic, right? So let's look at this bull run, right? So so far we had major success stories. One of the, you know, people, we had new millionaires being minted, for example, by Bonk, right? Bonk reached something like 3 to 4 billion market cap. Then another super big one was, of course, Pepe. Let's search for this one. This has reached 10 billion market cap. This is probably the largest that we've seen so far from all of these new coins. And, you know, I mean, the thing about Pepe and Bonk is that they are around not from late 2024. These ones are around from 2023, and they had a long consolidation and they had like lots of pumpage to do, like also in 2024 and 2025. So all of these AI16Z and Fartcoin and all of the stuff, this is kind of catching up to what, you know, Pepe and Bonk did. So I'm gonna share here like kind of my personal alpha, which obviously I could be wrong, but I think it's very important, because if I'm right, many people are gonna be kind of cry a lot in crypto. They're gonna be super disappointed, right? Guys, one of the major things that so far I spotted in this bull run, which I think is very important, and many people are becoming way too bullish, and they, in my opinion, they don't understand stuff good enough. Look, in the last bull run, we had a lot less of these kind of coins in each narrative. So for example, in the meme coin narrative, right, we had Dogecoin and Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu did something like 100,000x. It was the largest success story of the last 2021 bull run. And Dogecoin also did like a 500, 600x, which was absolutely insane, because Dogecoin like started the bull run like in 2020. It was like, you know, coin number 25, coin number 30. It's absolutely insane. So imagine Near Protocol, right? You know, it's $6.8 billion, right? But imagine it doing like a 500x. Obviously, the total crypto market cap was a lot lower back then, but you understand the point. Like, Dogecoin wasn't a small coin. Shiba Inu that did 100,000x, it was like, you know, nothing. It was super small. It had like $25 of volume in a 24-hour period in 2020. Dogecoin was a large coin, relatively speaking, but it still was so successful, and it still did a 500 to 600x. Now, in this bull run, guys, we just have so many of those, right? Like, we have, let me open here like the category of the meme coins. You just have so many, right? So like in the new bull run, right? So we have Pepe, Bonk now. AI16Z is also like, it's partially AI agent. It's also a meme coin. Anyway, we also have it here, like 2 billion. Dog with hat, 2 billion. Bonk, we said also right now 2 billion. Pepe is kind of the only special one, 9 billion right now. Floki, another big meme coin from also the previous cycle, 2 billion. Bread was a successful one, 1.5. Fartcoin over here, 1.4. This kind of coin that Murad likes a lot, 1.2. Mog, 1 billion. Popcat, GigaChat, all of these, you know, there's so many cats. And you see, and all of them are like stacked, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like here in the AI agents, which is still somewhat more new. So you have a few like in a billion, and then like, you know, you have nothing until here. You know what I mean? You have like 4, 3, 2 billion, and then 5 million. Now let's have a look how many coins we have like in the meme category between 2 billion to 500 million, right? So 2 billion was here, right? And anyway, it's quite a lot, right? Like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyway, it's probably around 10. And I mean, if I really count it to 500, it's like 10 to 15 coins, right? That they are stacked in a pretty large market cap from 500 million to 2 billion. And again, we're gonna have all of the stacking, of course, also here in the AI agents. Just the AI agents are still a newer category than meme coin. This is why, in my opinion, there's still opportunity in both of them for sure. But I just think the AI agents narrative is still, generally as a category, it has more upside, in my opinion, than the meme coins category. But again, the key thing, guys, what I'm trying to explain here, the most important, is that compared to the last bull run, guys, we just have a lot more coins that are diluting each other. And this is why, in my opinion, guys, my personal prediction, all right, is that there's not gonna be, at least not like Pepe or all of these other coins, right, all of the newer coins from 2023 or definitely 2024 or later. My prediction is that these larger ones, they are not gonna reach Dogecoin market cap from the last bull run, which was like 70 billion. I think all of that, like, they are gonna reach what Dogecoin and Shiba Inu reached, and even more than that combined, but there's just a lot more dilution. So if that makes sense, this is why, personally, because of this dilution, I'm a lot more interested in these coins over here, kind of further down, because the coins that are further up, again, in this stage in the bull run, like again, in my humble opinion, I just don't think they have that much more upside. Like, honestly, I'll be surprised if they do a 10x from here. Maybe some of them probably will, or maybe like an 8, 9x or so, maybe something close to that. But generally, I think like the majority of, you know, the gains for Pepe, Bonk, AI16Z, and so on, I think the majority of the gains are already done. So this is why, in my opinion, the majority of the gains in some of these kind of gems, hidden treasures over here, like in the primarily in the 8-figure market cap and 9-figure, over there, I think the opportunity is much bigger. Now, lastly, to not make this video too long, but just to explain why personally I'm not interested in the much smaller ones over here, 7 to 6-figure market caps, it's just because from my experience, you like really have to buy like more than 100 of them to finally catch a few that are really making it big. And you know, like you will still have to lose money in like 80 of them or 90 of them, and then hope that the other 10 are just really doing this like 100x or 1000x or more, so that it's really profitable. And obviously, when you're buying like 100 coins or more, it's a much more difficult work than when, personally for me, I like to have between 10 to 15 coins in every kind of major new uptrend that we have in crypto. So with all of that being said, guys, this is like a special bonus that I wanted to share with you. Why I'm very bullish, like why I'm making primarily videos right now, you know, about these coins like Aimonica or Dasha Waifu. They're a little less likely to succeed, right? I made tons of videos about the stuff that I was very confident that it's gonna succeed, like Solana, but I was making the videos about Solana back in 2022, 2023, right? The major opportunity for Solana was still over here. 2024 was also not very bad, but you get the idea. Like, you know, Solana, Render, also Bonk and Dog with Hat. Like Dog with Hat, I've made videos about it when it was still like 10 to 20 cents. You know, I just think the opportunity in them is relatively not as big. So this is why you're very welcome to subscribe, as I'm gonna be still searching for these big opportunities in the 8 to 9-figure, or you know, maybe some special cases if I still think something that is already worth billions, if it's still gonna be successful in a major way. Obviously, I'm also gonna make a video about that. So guys, thank you very much for being here once again. I was AR7 Crypto channel, and have a fantastic week and a fantastic weekend ahead, and cheers as always.